Hello, it's Davy Mooney coming to you from the University of North Texas, where I run the jazz guitar program. I'm a Benedetto artist, Sunnyside Records artist. Got my Sunnyside CDs up here. Got my Mel Bay improv book, Personalizing Jazz Vocabulary. The new book is getting there, y'all. I swear to God, it's pretty much finished. But I wanted to talk to you today about the Billy Strayhorn tune, Chelsea Bridge, which is one of a series of just beautiful ballads in D flat that he wrote for the Duke Ellington Orchestra, sometimes for Johnny Hodges, although this tune, if you listen to the, I believe it's the original version in early 1940s, I had it as part of a compilation called the Blanton Webster Band. It was a 3D set that I got back in, I don't know, the early 2000s. It's a Ben Webster feature. He plays the melody on the bridge. And yeah, it's just, gosh, such a beautiful tune, and it's been recorded several times over the years. The main versions that I kind of get my my chords and my melody from are that original version where it's taken at kind of a walking ballad tempo. It's not super slow. It's got that sort of dance tempo. And then there's I guess 1967, late 60s version Joe Henderson did on the album The Kicker that's really good. And he also did it again on his big band album in the 90s. And then just recently, I've been really enjoying the changes on a live Joel Frahm record, a Live at Smalls record with Kurt Rosenwinkel on guitar. And each of these versions has a slightly different spin on the chord changes. And I think, it's one of those things where, the original version wasn't exactly designed for all of us to play our solos on. And I get a feeling with a lot of those Strayhorn tunes like Isfahan and Daydream, Star-Crossed Lovers, Lush Life, they're very playable and we can improvise on them. Flowers of Love Something. But, you get the sense they weren't written for, modern jazz guitar shredding. So I think it's cool to adapt them a little bit harmonically to, what we want to do when we're improvising. So on that original version, I'll try to keep all the the changes straight. There's they all agree on certain chords, and then there's just a few spots that each version treats a little differently. So I think basically the first chord, it's a B flat minor major 7, which is a beautiful sound, kind of whole tone, or maybe melodic minor to an A flat minor major 7. And I think some versions might make that an E flat 7 to D flat 7, but I think maybe that's just something that I learned a long time ago incorrectly, because the three versions I'm talking about, it's always B flat in the bass there. And then same thing again with the quicker harmonic rhythm to a B flat 7 chord. It lasts for a whole bar, and then you have E flat minor to A flat 7 and 2/5. And most people play that melody note right there, although the original version goes. But most people will go E flat minor, A flat 7, D flat. And this is where it gets a little funny. The first ending, different people do different things. So the original, they're on D flat, kind of like 5, and then they go D flat, C7, B7, B flat 7, and then back to B flat minor. Joe Henderson goes from like a D flat 6/9 to B 6/9 to an A 6/9, back to B 6/9, and then the second A. And the Joe Henderson one is also kind of cool because he has this bass line at the beginning. He does it a lot slower, and it's like thing that that's Ron Carter on that record, which is cool. And then he also has, he's playing, and there's this little counter line that the trumpet and trombone play. It's really nice. He has his own little Ellington-esque arrangement of it that is really cool. And so yeah, the second A section, it's an AABA tune, same thing. little bit about the Joel Frahm version. What he does here is kind of cool. Instead of a whole measure on B flat 7, it really hangs you out there for a long time on that B flat 7, the tempo. Joel Frahm, and then they go 2 beats on B flat 7, and then they go B minor 7, E7, and then E flat minor. And that's that. I think of it as a tritone sub of the whole 2/5 that would get you to E flat minor. So, E flat minor, you'd have F minor, B flat 7 would get you there. So a tritone sub of F minor is B minor, and a tritone sub of B flat 7 is E7. It's kind of a Bud Powell or Wes Montgomery does that sometimes. You have, and it fits with the melody. And the Joel Frahm version, those first ending changes pretty much follow the Ellington changes. So then going into the bridge, again, it's a little bit, everybody has something different to say, but the gist of it is basically you have the D flat, and then it kind of walks down to B7, stays on B7, and you can listen to the different versions to see how they do that. And then the bridge starts on F sharp minor, which is kind of interesting because they don't really have a 2/5 to the F sharp minor, although I misspoke a little bit. The Joel Frahm version has something a little different there that maybe I'll go back to in a second. But the other versions, they go right from B7 to F sharp minor. It doesn't do a 5/1. And then you have a 2/5 in E. And then most versions go to C sharp minor, although Joel Frahm goes to G diminished. F sharp minor. B7 altered, B minor, E7 to A major. And this is kind of interesting. I think I originally learned that here you would do a 2/5 to G major, but that's not actually how it goes on the original and all the other versions I've been talking about. They go, it's actually like a C7 or a C trite over B flat, and then a G major over B to G. So that's kind of interesting. So the bridge, or C sharp minor, F sharp minor, B7, B minor, E7, A major 7. I think Joe Henderson, they actually just go to a C7 to G major, or G over B to G major, then G minor, and then the last A. I like that chord there. I try not to hurt myself. Learned that from Steve Matzkowski. The thing that I forgot to mention that the Joel Frahm version does that's kind of cool is at the end of each A section he goes, he goes to like a 4 minor, then back to a 1, and that's the walk down. And going into the bridge, they do the 1, 4 minor, and then he actually does a 2/5 of the F sharp. So instead of just going to a D flat again and walking down to B, you get the bridge, he goes second A section, and on the last A, Joe Henderson, they do that D flat down to B, down to A 6/9 to B 6/9. So it's some significant variations on the harmony that affect what you're going to play over it. And in my improv class, we did this tune this semester, and I had to kind of pick which version to do. And I was debating the Joe Henderson and the Joel Frahm, and I went with the Joel Frahm changes because it had some, pedagogical value, I guess, in terms of like that tritone 2-5-1 progression. I think it's important for students to learn about that since it's such a part of pop vocabulary, pop harmony. Bud Powell and Wes Montgomery and people like that. You hear that being played a lot. And yeah, in terms of the harmonic approach, you know, I pretty much do melodic minor, stuff like that. Bop stuff. There's some really cool. A student of mine transcribed the Kurt Rosenwinkel solo on the Joel Frahm record, and I remember there's one point in the B flat 7, even though they have this chord, he does some really cool diminished licks, and I remember on the diminished ideas, and on the B flat 7 he does this thing where it's like, it's kind of the half whole diminished scale, but it's like, I mean, I didn't see him play it, but I assume this is how he did it, like a 1 3 4. I'm starting on A flat. Kind of, I can't really do it very well, but you know. So it's most of the half whole diminished scale. You know, you got, or I guess six of the 8 notes, but it's just a cool kind of finger pattern that sounds cool over a B flat 7, altered going to E flat. And somehow on this tune, I feel like the diminished harmony is really cool over those dominants. You know, on the A flat 7 going to D flat, a lot of the time I'll go play like a D triad over A flat. That's a good place to do your diminished patterns like that. And sometimes, you know, I'll just, on the thing on the first ending and last ending on the third A, when those chords descend like that. Again, I've talked about this in previous videos. I used to feel bad about doing stuff like, you know, just taking an idea and moving it down chromatically, whether it's a 1 2 3 5 pattern or something like that. But I don't feel bad about it anymore because it sounds good. I try to put a little spin on it sometimes, maybe change the contour of what I'm doing, you know. But I think that sounds fine. Sounds good. And you know, on the bridge, 2/5. You know, I say most versions go to C sharp minor there, but Joel Frahm does the classic flat 3 diminished in the key of E. So I always think of that as 5 of the 3 chords. So it's like a G diminished. I'm thinking of it like an E flat 7, D sharp 7 with G in the bass. So. I'll outline an E flat 7, even though the next chord is not G sharp minor, but F sharp minor. 2/5 to the 4, A major, and then C7. It's an interesting progression, like a 4-1 progression going to G. So instead of A major 2/5 to G, A major C7, or maybe C7 with B flat in the bass, and you can just play Mixolydian to G major. And so it's an interesting progression. And then Joel Frahm here they go G minor D7 to the D flat 7. A lot of people just stay on G minor, or they go G minor C7 or something like that. But and that's basically it. And I'm gonna play a version of it now that sort of maybe splits the difference. I don't do it quite as slowly as Joe Henderson or Joel Frahm, but a little slower than the Ellington. Although I love those walking ballad tempos, kind of like the Monk's Mood tempo too, where it's not as slow as ballads got in the 50s and 60s. It's kind of danceable tempo. So anyway, beautiful tune, one of Strayhorn's many masterpieces, Chelsea Bridge. Hope you like it.
Thank